What's up everybody, it's Matt from TDM Style here. Welcome back to the channel once again, and welcome back to another review. That's a heavy jar, ow. So today we are talking about the matte paste from Sprezstyle. And if you're not familiar with Sprezstyle, they are basically a reseller of a bazillion brands for folks overseas, especially folks in Europe. And they recently started up their own brand and they came out with this paste. So we're taking a look at it today, and stay tuned to the end because Sprezstyle is doing a giveaway of 2 jars of this. So yeah, more on that in a bit. All right, so let's not waste any time. Let's crack into a bitch and get started as usual with packaging and pricing. So this guy is gonna come in your standard 100 milliliter, or I think that's 3.4 ounces, or is it 4 ounces? I don't know, I'll put it on the screen because I can never remember, and it just says 100 milliliters on the jar for those of you wondering. Well, you can just read it up the jar. Anyway, the jar itself is clear glass, and it is like heavy duty glass. This has a matte black metal lid, and it's kind of like done in the style of a mason jar, which I really enjoy. There's something kind of satisfying about that. And in terms of the labeling, it's pretty minimal, just matte black labeling by Sprezstyle. We've got the ingredients on there as well as the directions. Now, as far as the price, if you're buying this in the US, like me, you can get it from Flagship for 27 bucks. Or if you're in Europe and you're getting it from Sprezstyle, it's gonna come in at 27 euros 95. And in terms of the specs and what this thing is supposed to be, I'll read the little blurb for you here. This says, by Sprezstyle paste offers a medium to firm, weightless hold and a matte to natural finish. It all depends on how much of the paste you use. The paste has a creamy consistency that is easy to scoop, and since the product doesn't dry out in the hands, you can take your time when using it. We're proud to say that our by Sprezstyle paste is completely vegan. We do so without silicone, parabens, paraffin wax, microplastics, PEGs, synthetic dyes, synthetic fragrances, or preservatives. In terms of the scent, the way that they describe it here, it has a top note of a slightly sweet citrus, a heart of fruity sparkling orange and lemon, and base notes of cedar for a slightly woody completion. That sounds weird, woody completion. But dirty jokes aside, we got a nose in. Yeah, no, that smells fucking delicious. It's exactly what they describe. It opens with a sweet, slightly citrus, a little bit floral, and then it gets a little more citrusy, and then a little woody at the end. But it is very lightly scented. It's certainly not anything punchy, and they mention right on their website that like it won't clash with any perfume or fragrance that you might be wearing. All right, now quickly through the ingredients on this thing. It is water-based, as most matte pastes are. So we've got aqua in the first spot, followed by bis-diglyceryl polyacycleptate 2. No idea what that is. Hydrogenated rapeseed oil, hydrogenated vegetable oil, silica, and glycerin, so a lot of plumping to the hair going on there. Plump. Pentylene glycol, olive fruit oil, our best boy, Mr. Kaolin Clay making an appearance. Olive oil unsaponifiables, also, that might be a Google situation. Jojoba esters, cedaryl alcohol, which makes the hair soft. Contrary to popular belief, people see the word alcohol in there and they think like, oh my god, it's gonna be dry. It's actually not. Cedaryl alcohol is a whole other thing. Cedaryl glucoside. We also have bentonite clay in here, followed by cannabis sativa hemp seed oil. You got weed. Tocopherol, yarrow extract, oak bark extract, citric acid, parfum. Then we have things like what we've seen before, like limonene, linalool, citronellol, citrol, and geraniol. All right, so with that, I think we can move right into the demo footage. Now, before we get started with that, I do want to mention their kind of recommended styling method for this. Of course, they do say like, yeah, experiment, do whatever you want, but their recommendation is to use this first, use a full-size scoop into damp hair as a pre-styler, then either air dry or blow dry your hair, and then when you're done, add like a quarter of a scoop, which is enough. And of course, you can, fuck around and do whatever you want, add a little more, add a little less, whatever, but that is their recommended method. So I did try this in a few different ways. You guys know me, I'm normally a dry hair styling boy, so that was the first thing I did. I blow dried my hair with just 25 spray, then tried this straight into dry hair. That didn't really work well for me, but then I tried their method and it does work significantly better. So, I guess before we do that, we can crack into a bitch and take a look at the scoop and the breakdown. Now, they are saying that this is meant to be a very creamy, easy scoop with an easy breakdown, and boy, it is. I mean, this is just such a nice formula. It is so smooth. It comes out with such ease and breaks down in the hands in just a couple of seconds, and it stays nice and smooth. And yeah, it really doesn't dry out in the hands. Like, you do have some time to work with this, which is nice, because, you know, some matte pastes, they start to dry like immediately, and so you got to get that shit worked into the hair very quickly, and that's not really the case here. You can kind of take your time and not have to worry about just like as fast as possible. All right, so now it's demo time. So as usual, we're starting out here with freshly washed hair. Now this, of course, is still very damp, so I'm going in here with 5 spritzes of 25 spray first. Now this is important. If you're a person with coarse, wavy hair like I am, absolutely you need some kind of smoothing product here first, because going in with the scoop as the pre-styler, even into damp hair, this boy is strong. It is strong and grippy and pretty dry. Now, with that being said, it feels quite grippy, but it's not grippy to the point that it feels like you're pulling hairs out or anything. It feels very strong. Like you could probably put it into damp hair and leave it, and the hold would be fine. But that's not my thing, and also not the recommended method. So next, we're gonna go ahead and blow dry a bitch, and here are those results. So yeah, I will say while blow drying with the brush, it has a considerable amount of grip. Again, not to the point where it feels like you're ripping hairs out, but if you're using a round brush to go through, there's some tug, and it feels quite dry. But as you can see with the finished result, it's definitely dry, it's definitely matte, and the hold feels strong. I mean, I could leave it here and it would be fine, I think. But for the sake of science, I did want to try their recommended method the whole way through, so I'm taking a very, very tiny, quarter size scoop, pea-sized amount, small amount, don't use a lot. And I gotta tell you the truth, I was expecting the post-styling scoop, even though it's such a small amount, I was expecting it to be wicked dry and like terrible, but it surprisingly goes in a lot smoother than I expected. And just that little bit extra makes my hair feel and look slightly less dry, a little bit less matte, and it gives you that nice, like, coarse texture that a matte paste should. Yeah, and as far as the volume and the plump effect from the, kaolin and bentonite and the glycerin and stuff in there, yeah, the hair feels very volumized. I mean, as you can see, there's big volume here going on. But so I think that this would be really, really best for those of you with finer hair who need a little bit more of that like thickening effect, because this shit feels thick. And in terms of endurance, I mean, here we are at the end of the day, and as you can see, it basically barely moved at all. And it does feel very weightless. I mean, I've got it in my hair right now as well. And so it feels dry, but not dry to the point that it's tangly. It just dry in the sense that my hair feels very thick and it feels like it has a lot of clay in it, but not uncomfortably dry, we'll say that. So then, yeah, it's definitely restylable. It's pretty malleable, as you can see, and the hold is, you move it somewhere and it's gonna pretty much stay there. Let's put that back where it was. So as I mentioned before, I did also try this with the method I would normally use, which is just pre-style with, 25 or whatever smoothing, blow dry it, and then put in a full-size scoop of your finishing product. And when I did that, this was way drier and way more difficult to work through my hair, and at that point it did feel like tangly and stuff. So I think using the full-size scoop as the pre-styler and blow drying it, you're getting that heat in there, you're making it more malleable and easy to work through. And then just adding a tiny little touch more for that final style definitely works the best. So I highly recommend using their styling method. But again, if you have like straight finer hair, you can probably just do whatever the fuck you want. I don't think you're gonna have this problem. This is really a coarse, wavy-haired person's issue that you might run into. Now, in terms of washout, it's water-based, and yeah, it washes off the hand super easily, and once you got it in the hair, it just... Someday I'll get it. Anyway, it basically comes out completely with just water, which is nice. But yeah, with a little bit of shampoo and conditioner, no problem. So yeah, overall thoughts on the paste by Sprezstyle. Yeah, this is a serious contender in the world of matte paste. I feel like this is a classic matte paste. You know, when you hear matte paste, I just said matte paste 25,000 times, sorry about that. But when you hear that style of product, like, you have an expectation. You expect it to be pretty dry and have some clay in it and have coarse texture and a lightweight or weightless feel, and a fairly strong hold, and this does all of those things. I do like the formula itself, how like smooth and creamy and easy scoop, easy breakdown it is, and yeah, if you use the recommended styling method, it's pretty easy to use. So I definitely recommend checking it out. So we have some options here. If you're gonna buy some, if you're buying it from Sprezstyle, I do have an affiliate code for you. You can use code TDMStyle for 10% off your order. If you're here in the US, as I mentioned, you can get it from Flagship. But now it's giveaway time. Sprezstyle is giving away 2 jars of this. So what we're going to do for this, we're going to do this similar to previous giveaways. I'm going to have a post going up on my Instagram soon. And so basically, to enter this, all you have to do is be following me and Sprezstyle and just leave a comment on that post. And after a couple of days, we'll choose a winner at random, and then Sprezstyle will take it from there. Actually, two winners at random. 2 jars, and Sprezstyle will take it from there. So be sure to keep your eyes on Instagram to enter that. So yeah, that wraps things up for today's video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this and found it helpful. Got plenty more stuff coming up soon. We got some spicy business coming up. I really want to do a video on Tribal Chimp hair powder, because they have really entered the crusty ad zone, and I think I'm just going to buy one so we can try it out and see if their product is as crusty as the ads are. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, feel free to hit the subscribe button down below to keep up to date with everything. And as always, thank you so much for coming by and watching. And we'll see y'all at the next one.